When you decide to add evergreens into your garden, how do you determine how much evergreens to put in? What is the percentage? And do you factor in the background of your garden? Now, this is a topic I have not noticed experts talk about. I could be wrong. If you have noticed it and know about it, please let me know the source so I can look into it. Now, I will say that when you search online for the percentage of evergreens to add to your garden, you'll see beautiful backgrounds, whether they be hardscapes or evergreen plants in the background. But you never see something that I'm about to show you. So here's the background. You can see that the background is mostly made out of plants that have gone to sleep. Look at that. You don't see this online. They don't show you this. They don't show you background with plants that do not show off their leaves anymore. So today I would like to explore the relationship between the percentage of evergreens in our garden to the background, and if it really matters what kind of background scenery you have. Now, for our discussion in this video, evergreen plants are plants that still have leaves that are still alive. They have not died back. Whether they are broadleaf evergreen plants like this banana bush, or they could be narrowleaf evergreen plants like this Chamaecyparis. Barely any evergreen plants at our eye level right now. I will say that we do have evergreen plants. They are pine trees and they're way above. So you cannot see them until you come up, because these plants always reach up for the light. I would say there are 30 to 40% of evergreen plants in this front space here. Now, this is not an exact math, just an estimate. So 30 to 40% evergreens. So if we look at this corner, you see the hydrangeas. There are a few evergreens here with the gardenias and camellia right there. So in this instance, is it good to have mostly deciduous plants here to have some kind of similarity with the background? Or is it better to have evergreen plants here as a contrast? I would say the same thing here. There are more evergreen plants. So the question is it better to have the garden evergreens contrast with the background, or have them looking similar? All right, here's a garden with heavily planted evergreens. I would say 90%. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna make sure that I don't trip like I did a few days ago with that. Backed up and then stepped somewhere there and almost fell. Did not fall. Thank goodness. Maybe fortunately, unfortunately, I do not know. I'm still sore. My neck area is kind of sore. So hopefully I'll get better. So anyway, again, this is a garden space that I think consists of 90% evergreens. I love it. It's beautiful, but let's look at how this garden space relates to the background. Again, you see mostly sleeping plants. Basically, you have brown and gray, brown of the grass there. You do see some green of the grass. There's a little bit of evergreen there and here. Mostly you see just a nice winter background with deciduous plants that have died back. So what do you think of this space? Do you like the contrast, or do you think that the two should pretty much mirror each other? I think it all just depends. It depends on your preference. It depends on your goal for adding evergreens. Different factors, as you know, with gardening, different factors for different garden spaces. If you have a background like I do here, and if you like the contrast, then that is a good choice for you. Low contrast, do you like medium, do you like high? So it all depends on that too. You can see that the Hillside garden has much more contrast between the background and it. If you would like the concentration or the percentage of evergreens to kind of match your sleeping background plants, then that is a good choice for you. If you want to add evergreens because you have lots of windy days and you need them as windbreakers, then it makes sense to add more evergreens. If you lack privacy, for example, in the front garden, and if you don't add evergreens, you just won't have privacy in the winter, then adding more evergreens in the front to give you privacy, whether it's in the front or in the back, I should say, then that is a good choice for you. Now, the experts will say that you should add more evergreens in the front versus in the back. That makes sense because in the front, there's more traffic. You might not have that privacy, and also you want the front to look nicer, to have that curve appeal. All in all is to say that it's just all depends on your preference, depends on what your goal is for adding evergreens. Now, for the past several days, I have gone back and forth looking at the border of the garden versus the background. And I have to say that I do want to look at lively foliage that are still alive, whether they are yellow in color, green variations in green, or purple like the purple laurel petalum. So I have to say that I do prefer that better because I don't want to have to look at the dieback plants in the background. Now, they do have some kind of structural interest to them. I will not deny that. With the different plants, I like the off-white color. They do offer some kind of interest, but at the same time, I think my eyes just want that foliage color that tells me that plants are alive. So I do crave that green, that greenness, that liveliness to plants, that they have not gone to sleep, and I like that. So have you noticed this relationship in your own garden between your concentration of evergreens or the percentage of evergreens to your background? I would really love to know, and please let me know if you like the contrast better, especially if you have a background like I do here, or do you like a blend, like kind of like a similarity? There is no right or wrong answer. I don't think there is a rule about this with gardening, and a lot of things with gardening, they're more of guidelines. You know, we don't have to follow any guidelines strictly anyway. The plants in my own garden, the evergreen plants, they're popping. They're popping because there's such a contrast between what the plants look like, what the color of the plants in the background look like, and what the plants in my own garden look like. So this was a fun topic to talk about, something that I have noticed in my own garden and something that I have noticed experts have not talked about. So, and the reason that I noticed it more now is because the plants have gotten bigger. So before I had blinders on, I was just focusing on the little plants. They were little, not at a good eye level, so I was not able to see the background and them. It could be that I was new to gardening too. It could be a number of things, but I'm glad that I noticed the difference between our background here and the evergreen plant. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it helpful. And thank you for watching this video. And until the next one, I hope you take care. Bye for now.